the time where we are at the minute, part of these authorities, these governors who stepped into the role of your governor, have decided that they're going to maintain the position of the fact that you're going to live contained, and they're going to govern you there, and you're going to thrive there. Everything is going to be hunky-dory for you. You're not going to have to bother getting a car if you ain't going anywhere. Everything's going to be there. It's going to be provided for you. It's going to look fantastic. These are not going to look like slums. These are going to look great. They're going to be stainless steel probably. They're going to have loads of glass so you can see out and they can see in. You're going to have your little hairdresser to trim your little muzzy and shave your little chin for you. You're probably going to have people down on the ground floor who'll wash your socks for you and do your dirty laundry and bring it back to your house for you and bow to you and all of that, because this is a brand new deal. This is a brand new utopia. This is where mentally you've been indicating you would like to head to anyway. Because an awful lot of people, when these governors look, they say, okay, what sort of position do the people hold at the minute? Well, okay, most of them don't come out the house anymore. A lot of them just sit in and watch us perform for them. Bread and circuses, we provide the circus. We provide the entertainment and the governorship. And they're happy. Some of them don't get out of bed. Have you seen a lot of them? They go to the shops in the pyjamas. It's an inconvenience for a lot of this generation now to even get up and have a wash, brush the teeth, get dressed, go and help the neighbour, go and get a job. This is what they observe across the nation. And okay, they're going to maintain that position. So how are they going to maintain it much more effectively? Well, they don't believe the truth anyway. They believe everything we tell them. They believe everything that comes out of the box or on the telly. So what we'll do is we'll tell them that we're going to give them what the hearts have always really desired. And we're going to get like fantastic advertisers involved. And we're going to tell them that they can stay in a fantastic. We'll put a 2-inch carpet down for them. We'll paint it whatever colour they like. We'll give them a mattress that they could die for and will die for, and they can lay on it, and we'll give them a plasma wall where they can just be entertained endlessly. We'll bring food to the door. You should do it when you're in prison. It was called a hatch. And they just put the food through and close it up for you. Or it'll be a nice door, this one, the whole door will open and your food will be delivered. It will be crap food. It will have no nutrition in it. It will make you sick. It will probably be bugs or locust cornflakes with rat milk. It'll be whatever you give because you've decided not to be your own governor. And the governors that have stepped into that position are evil. And so you're going to eat your bugs and you're going to get to like them because these people know how you think. They know what buttons to press to make you compliant. They know the psychology of what makes you move and what makes you immobile, because these people, your governors, have been studying you and they've been studying I and mankind for hundreds and hundreds of years. You see the photographs in the old books from the 1800s and there'll be an old guy and he's got a display of heads. Some of them might be little pygmies. They have brains in jars. They have monkeys wired to machines. The experiment. Everyone hates the animal experiments who's got an iota of humanity in them. Don't want to see rabbits and mice and monkeys electrocuted and starved and cut to pieces. But these people don't mind doing it because they've got a position to maintain. They are a governor And the ends, as far as they're concerned, justify the means. And if people need to die to maintain a position, well, that's the reason that they be. That's the reason that they exist. They are the government. They're there to maintain a position. That's all. That's all. And they're going to maintain the position that you appear to desire by their observations of your behaviour. We haven't acted like governors. We've acted like serfs. And we've acted like slaves. And now they're going to create an environment where them serfs and them slaves will feel like kings. Where their heart and their adrenaline can be pumped just through a machine on the wall, a plasma wall. They don't need to go out. They don't need to go anywhere. And it's a 15-minute city. And a lot of people are going to opt in for it. They're going to think, wow, I don't need to ever think even about getting a letter from the job centre to go for an interview for a job. Wow, I'll never have to work again. Oh, that's how they're going to give me money as well as food and warmth and a place to live and entertain me all day and night. Wow, what could be better? You've just walked into hell with a lovely picture on the wall because you've just signed your soul away. You've got no authority. Somebody else is going to author your rights. And the same people that have done that to you have done it with an absolutely wicked, evil, demonic, horrendous intent for you, for your mum, for your dad, for you, for your children, for your grandchildren. They have a horrendous future for them. But they're going to paint it in such a wonderful, beautiful way that you're going to think it's utopia. Where did it come from? It came from experimentation. Like they had little heads, shrunken heads, and they had brains that they dissected, and hundreds of thousands of animals they murdered in agony. Because these are experimenters. And one of those experiments was done at the turn of the century, maybe in the 30s. And I lived in one of them. It's called the Beechwood Estate. At the minute, it used to be called the Ford Estate, and they built a Noctorum Estate, and there was a Woodchurch Estate, and a Mount Estate. Environments that really, they had one way in and one way out, one road, where everyone could oversee one another, where everybody knew one another's business, and they were called housing estates. Many of us who grew up are still living in them right now. Well, where did that concept come from, where we used to live in terraced houses, and we used to live in nice Georgian houses before that, where we've deteriorated? No, we haven't improved any. So where did these concepts for the housing estates come from? They came through these same people who cut monkeys' heads off, who sliced animals up the belly. It came from those. It came from that mindset, the housing estates. Wicked, without your best interests at heart. And the experiment that they took this information from, that they knew would cause you harm, would cause death, would cause children to be neglected, would cause them to be abused, to cause the strongest to prevail, and for the masses to just become a blob around them. It was an experiment. It was called Mouse City, but it wasn't really mice to begin with. It was done with rats. Because that's how these people perceive that they're dealing with. They will experimentation on rats to compare it to how you behave. And where did those poor people end up? And millions like them. Well, they ended up in 15-minute cities. They used to call them ghettos back then. They were 15-minute cities. You didn't have to go anywhere for them. You're going to die there. You're going to live and die there. And now they're proposing them again for you, but with a spin, with Madison Avenue advertising, Saatchi and Saatchi, all the best in the business. So you'll walk into this concentration camp this time, and you'll walk into this 15-minute city, unless you're smart up and you realise that these people have experimented this. They know what the outcome's going to be, because the experiment was called Mouse City, and there was a guy who set up an experiment with rats initially, and he set up an environment that for that species was absolutely heaven for them, a utopia for a mouse or a rat utopia. And it had the warrens, it had all the food for nesting that they would ever need. It had a food place, it had females, it had upper rooms, it had everything that they needed for the survival, so they never had to really be a rat. Everything that they needed was provided, and he moved a couple of males and a couple of females in, and the experiment began. And as it progressed and the newborn were being born all the time, hierarchies developed, and dominance would with the females would be separated. There was hundreds of these things, thousands of them, and they just began to kill each other. They just began to maim each other. The rat females would just neglect their offspring, let them die, or they would eat them, or they would kill them. But that whole society would maintain itself at a specific number. I think it was maybe 400, 500 that it could do. But there was a dominant males who bred only with the females. So the others became homosexual. They became asexual. They would mate with male, female with female. They would degenerate. All the natural instincts that made them what they created to be, which was to produce and to thrive, was taken away from them, and all they were given was the desires. And those desires caused them to lose their sexual identity, caused them to be degenerate, caused them to be murderers, caused them to be violent, caused mothers to murder their children. It was hell. And Calhoun, the guy who run the experiment, said this is the most terrifying thing you could imagine. And you need to go and look at Calhoun, you need to go and look at his findings, you need to go and look at the experiment that was Mouse City, because you're now living in one. You're now going to be moved into one. We've already got the housing estate with 50 years, 40 years history. Go back and look at those housing estates. They are run on drug addiction, alcoholism. There's guns being fired, people being murdered, children are out of control. There is a dominant hierarchy. They were the prototype for Mouse City. I lived in one. I've seen it all. I've seen the violence, I've seen the neglect, I've seen the uncaring nature of them. I've seen the hierarchies. I've lived in them. That's how I can comment on it now. It's an experiment. It's all been perfected. Everything's been fine-tuned. Everything's ready for you to just walk in there and die. Are you going to do it? Or are you going to step up? Are you going to be your own governor? You're going to say, I don't need these people to govern my world. They've got a position to maintain. They've got a lot of wealth. They've got a lot of land. They've got a lot of power. They've got a lot invested, and they're going to maintain that position so that you can never ever challenge that position that they're in. They are evil people. They have designed an evil program. They have an evil system, and they are expecting you to just walk in there and just die happy. They're going to put you in a pod. They're going to put you in a lovely room, and they're going to entertain you to death. That's Mouse City. That's a 15-minute city. You must avail yourself of these experiments that have been taking place so you can warn others, so you can be aware and warn your own family, and so you can tell these people who have set themselves up as your governor to go back to hell where they came from with the program. That's where it was initiated. And be a man and be a woman, and let's just put this thing to bed, and let's govern ourselves for a change, because it's not that difficult.